Hi, and welcome to middle school. I'm your teacher, Miss Hughes, and this year I will be teaching you science and social studies. And I know the jump from elementary school to middle school can be a little difficult. And today we're just going to go over some basic things. We're going to go over expectations, procedures, consequences, and technology use. The first thing that we're going to talk about is expectations. And expectations, the root word of expectations is expect. And these things I'm about to list is how I expect you to act in my classroom. Of course, we're going to follow our school roars, our school rules, roars. Be responsible, take ownership, achieve academically, show respect, and be safe. We went over those earlier in the assembly. Let's get down to stuff that we are going to focus on mainly in this classroom. And the first thing is always to be respectful. Respect me, respect yourself, and respect the people around you and everything in this room. That goes for me too. I will be very respectful of you all as well. We're going to follow all directions the first time they are given, not the fourth or fifth time, but the first time. We're always going to work hard and try our best on all assignments. Um, stuff similar to when you were in elementary school, such as raising your hand to speak or to get out of your seat. We're going to follow all procedures. Now, expectations are how I expect you to act in my classroom. Procedures are the way that we're going to transition and do things within the classroom. Um, so let's move on to some procedures because I want you to follow all procedures in my room. Now, one thing that we're going to talk about is when you first come into the room. When you first come into the room, you are to take your seat quietly and to get out all materials for the day. You're going to see a poster every morning that has a name next to it, and that is the student who gets to pass out the textbooks for the day. That student is going to pass out the textbooks, and then you're all going to continue working on your bell ringer. Sharpening your pencil is going to get done during the bell ringer to hopefully avoid having to sharpen it again during the time that I'm teaching. We're also going to use the restroom once during this class at the beginning. Now, if you have to use it during another part of class and it's an emergency, you're just going to use the sign language letter R, and you're going to raise it up and wait for me to call on you. Tissue is very similar. If you sneeze or your nose is running, just hand up, hand covering nose, wait for me to address you and tell you to go get it. Any trash that you get during the class, whether it's paper scraps or maybe you sharpened your pencil and you have to empty your pencil sharpener, just go ahead and hold that to the end of class. When we line up, we're going to line up in ABC order to exit the room. And at that time, you're going to pass the garbage can. You can throw anything away. Now, as you're lining up, you're going to hold your work for that day. And when you walk out of my door on the left-hand side, there's going to be a bin that is labeled with your class. And you're just going to go ahead and put it in to turn in your work. Every day we're going to have classroom recess in here, and we're going to do it with some of the things that you might have heard of before. There's four options. There's Book It, which is a game that we can play, which is online. It's competition. I know that y'all play that at the elementary school. Classroom recess is very much appropriate learning games for you. Go Noodle is I can play a video on the board and we can all get up and dance around in our assigned areas. And then we can have quiet time. If I've had a very stressful day, I can play some relaxing music and we can just have quiet time at our desk to de-stress. Um, Now, if we are to break these procedures or these expectations, we're going to have consequences. The first one, I'm just going to give you a warning and be like, hey, let's not do that again, okay? Now, the second offense is going to be the loss of your dojo points and a call home. The third offense will be silent lunch and a call home. The fourth offense is going to be loss of classroom recess and a call home. And the fifth time that you break my rule or my procedure, you're just going to go to the office and we're going to let them deal with it. Because at that point, that means I've called home 3 times. Now, I am going to talk to your parents a lot, not just about the bad, but also about the good. So you see all these times I'm going to call your parent because you do something wrong, but guess what? If you make a good grade on a test, I'm going to write a special little note to send home in your graded papers, and I'm going to call your mom or your dad or your grandma or whoever takes care of you, and I'm going to say, you know what, they're doing amazing. And don't forget, if I call home about something bad, I can always call back 2 days later and say, oh, he is doing so much better or she is improving so much. Now, the fourth thing that we're going to talk about is technology. We are going to use a lot of technology in this room. Of course, you will all have your Chromebooks, and we will use those almost every single day. You can access your textbook virtually with your Chromebook through Clever, where I can assign videos and quizzes, virtual labs, all this stuff that we can look at so we can get to our hands-on labs in science. It's going to help us record our data. During this time, you are to stay on the appropriate websites. If you do not stay on the appropriate websites, I will close your browser using ClassWise. And if you continue to break technology expectations or do not properly care for your Chromebook either, the same consequences that we previously discussed will be enforced. Are there any questions?